The alien fleet commander didn't see the human ship until it was too late. Commander Vexthor of the Caldrith Dominion sat in his command throne, watching 3 human colony worlds burn on the view screen. His mandibles clicked in satisfaction. The humans had refused to surrender their mining rights. Now they would learn the price of defiance. Sir, detecting a single vessel approaching from Sector 9, his scanner officer chirped. Vexthor's 4 eyes narrowed. 1 ship? Confirmed. Human design. Heavily modified. Broadcasting no identification. The commander's translator picked up the incoming transmission before his crew could filter it. This is Captain Derek Stone of the freelance vessel Reckoning. You have 10 seconds to withdraw your forces from human space. Laughter rippled through the bridge. Vexthor's fleet numbered 47 warships. The human vessel barely registered as frigate class. Foolish human, Vexthor replied. Your bravado will die with you. Wrong answer. The Reckoning didn't wait for the countdown to finish. It moved like nothing Vexthor had ever seen. The ship blurred across his view screen, and suddenly his flagship's starboard shields collapsed. Alarms screamed. His engineering officer shouted damage reports that made no sense. Impossible! Their weapons cut through our shields like they weren't there. Vexthor watched 2 of his destroyers explode in rapid succession. The human ship danced between his fleet's return fire, every movement precise and devastating. Another cruiser went dark, its reactor breached. All ships focus fire! Triangulate his position! But the Reckoning was already gone, reappearing behind his carrier group. 3 more ships vanished in blinding explosions. Vexthor's confidence evaporated. His fleet was being dismantled by a single opponent. Deploy fighters. Box him in. Hundreds of Caldrith fighters swarmed toward the human vessel. The Reckoning's point defense systems activated. Vexthor watched in horror as the automated weapons tracked and destroyed incoming fighters with inhuman precision. Not 1 shot wasted. Not 1 target missed. The human ship accelerated again, and Vexthor's tactical officer went silent. What is it? The commander demanded. Sir, he's heading directly for your flagship. Vexthor felt fear for the first time in his military career. Evasive maneuvers. All weapons, fire at will. The Reckoning broke through the barrage like it wasn't there. Energy beams scored its hull but didn't slow it down. It came alongside Vexthor's massive dreadnought and fired a single, concentrated burst into the engine section. The flagship shuddered violently. Captain Stone's voice cut through the chaos. You came to human space and murdered 3 million colonists, men, women, and children. You thought we'd be easy prey. Another devastating hit rocked the dreadnought. I'm going to show you what happens when you underestimate humanity. Vexthor's screens went dark as his flagship lost power. In the silence, he finally understood his mistake. Dash Captain Derek Stone didn't give the Caldrith fleet time to regroup. The Reckoning spun away from the disabled flagship, engines flaring white-hot as it carved through the scattered formation. Vexthor's remaining ships tried to form a defensive perimeter, but Stone had already calculated their response patterns. Predictable, rigid, fatal. He targeted the ammunition carriers first. 2 torpedoes streaked from the Reckoning's forward tubes. They slipped past the carrier's outdated point defense and detonated inside their hulls. The explosions created a chain reaction that consumed 6 nearby vessels in a wall of superheated plasma. Stone's hands moved across the controls with practiced efficiency. Computer, target priority Delta 7, execute. The ship's AI responded instantly. Twin rail cannons swiveled and fired in perfect synchronization. Tungsten slugs traveling at a fraction of light speed punched through a Caldrith battlecruiser's bridge section. The ship listed sideways, colliding with its escort destroyer. 14 ships down. 33 remaining. Inside the crippled flagship, Vexthor fought to restore emergency power. His crew scrambled in the darkness, their training dissolving into panic. The human had systematically stripped away every advantage they possessed. "Get me communications!" Vexthor roared. His comm officer managed to activate the distress beacon. "Channel open, Commander. All ships fall back to defensive formation Theta. Protect the..." The Reckoning materialized above his command carrier and dropped a full payload of kinetic penetrators. The carrier's armor held for exactly 2 seconds before the hull breached in 17 locations. Atmosphere vented into space, carrying crew members with it. Stone's voice crackled over every Caldrith channel simultaneously. You're not falling back. You're not regrouping. You're learning. A frigate tried to flank the Reckoning from below. Stone pulled a hard vertical climb that should have torn his ship apart. Instead, the Reckoning responded like an extension of his will. He looped over the frigate and raked its topside with particle beam fire. The alien ship broke in half. Vex Thor watched his fleet die ship by ship. His tactical display showed the impossible truth. 1 human vessel, 1 human pilot, 0 damage sustained. How? He whispered. How is this possible? His science officer had been running continuous scans. Commander, his reactor output is off our measurement scale. His weapons are using technology we don't recognize. And his piloting, the officer's voice cracked. No biological should be able to withstand those acceleration forces. Stone wasn't just skilled. He was augmented, enhanced, built for this. The Reckoning dove into the thickest concentration of Caldrith ships. Stone activated his experimental shield array, a human innovation the Dominion scientists had dismissed as theoretical nonsense. The shields created an oscillating frequency that destabilized enemy fire before it could make contact. He fired everything simultaneously. Missiles, cannons, energy weapons, even experimental plasma charges. The barrage tore through 5 ships in as many seconds. 23 vessels left. Vex Thor's second officer grabbed his arm. Commander, we must retreat. This battle is lost. We outnumber him 23-1, Vex Thor snapped back. And we started at 47-1. He's slaughtering us. Stone heard their encrypted transmission and broke through it effortlessly. Your second is right, Vex Thor. You should run. But here's the problem. I'm faster. He proved it by destroying their fastest scout ship as it attempted to jump to hyperspace. The vessel exploded just as its engines engaged, creating a shockwave that damaged 2 nearby cruisers. The remaining Caldrith ships broke formation. Panic spread faster than Stone's weapons fire. They scattered in all directions, abandoning tactical cohesion for desperate survival. Stone pursued them methodically, not with rage, not with hatred, with cold, mechanical precision. Each ship he targeted died quickly, clean kills, efficient, surgical. But he made sure Vex Thor's crippled flagship had full sensor access. The commander needed to see everything, needed to understand what humanity could do when pushed too far. 15 ships remaining, then 12. Then 8. Vex Thor slumped in his command throne, watching his armada disintegrate. We had intelligence reports. Humans were supposed to be weak, fractured, easy to conquer. His science officer pulled up data on his flickering screen. Commander, look at this! Captain Derek Stone, former Earth Defense Force, dishonorably discharged for excessive force, declared dead 3 years ago after a classified incident. He doesn't look dead to me, Vex Thor muttered. The Reckoning appeared on their view screen, hovering directly in front of the flagship. Stone's face appeared on every display. Human. Scarred, eyes burning with controlled fury. Your intelligence was wrong about everything, Stone said quietly. Ready for your final lesson? Vex Thor stared at the human face on his screen and felt his species' legendary pride crumble into dust. What lesson? He managed to ask. Stone's expression didn't change. Mercy has a price. The Reckoning's weapons systems powered down. Vex Thor's crew exchanged confused glances. 7 Caldrith ships remained operational, scattered across the battlefield like frightened prey animals. I'm giving you one chance, Stone continued. Broadcast a message to the Dominion. Tell them exactly what happened here. Tell them what one human did to your fleet. Then take your survivors and leave human space forever. Vex Thor's mandibles trembled. And if we refuse? Stone's hand moved toward his weapons console. Then I finish what I started. Your choice. You have 60 seconds. The commander looked at his bridge crew. Young officers who'd never expected to face real combat. They joined the Dominion military because it was supposed to be safe, dominant, unstoppable. Open a channel to Dominion High Command, Vex Thor ordered. His communications officer hesitated. Sir, if we admit defeat to a single human ship, our careers don't matter if we're dead. Open the channel. The connection established. Fleet Admiral Kronzar appeared on screen, his four eyes blazing with impatience. Vexthor, report. Have the human colonies surrendered? No, Admiral. Vexthor's voice was hollow. The colonies are lost. My fleet is destroyed. 40 ships eliminated by a single human vessel. Silence filled the channel. Then Kronzar's laughter echoed through the bridge. Impossible. You're transmitting from a dead ship with failing systems. Your judgment is compromised. I'm sending reinforcements to... Stone cut into the transmission. His face replaced Vexthor's on the Dominion channel. Admiral Kronzar, I'm Captain Derek Stone. Your commander isn't compromised. He's telling the truth. I destroyed his fleet in 43 minutes. I can send you the combat recordings if you'd like proof. The Admiral's laughter died. One human? You expect me to believe? I don't care what you believe, Stone interrupted. I care what you do next. The Dominion attacked human civilians, murdered families, burned colonies. That was your mistake. This is your warning. Stone transmitted a data package. Kronzar's expression shifted from skepticism to shock as he reviewed the tactical recordings. 47 Caldrith warships reduced to 7. Combat footage showing the Reckoning moving like a wraith, striking like thunder. This technology, Kronzar whispered. How do you... That's not your concern. Here's what you need to know. Humanity didn't reveal our true capabilities because we hoped diplomacy would work. You mistook restraint for weakness. Now you know better. Stone leaned closer to his camera. Spread the word across the Dominion. Human space is off limits. Human colonies are untouchable. Human ships travel where they please. Any violation will be met with the same response you witnessed today. Kronzar's scales darkened with rage. You threaten the entire Dominion? We have thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, and I have thousands of ships just like this one, Stone lied smoothly. Hidden, waiting, watching. We let you think you were the apex predators in this galaxy. We were wrong to give you that illusion. It was a bluff. The Reckoning was unique. A prototype that existed outside official military channels. But Kronzar didn't know that. Couldn't know that. Stone drove the point home. Test me. Send your thousands of ships. See what happens when humanity stops holding back. The Admiral's jaw clenched. This isn't over, human. You're right. It's not. Because you're going to pay reparations for the colonies you destroyed. Resource compensation. Delivered within 30 standard days. We will never 30 days, or I start visiting Dominion worlds. Not military targets. Your mining. Your trade hubs. Your logistical centers. I'll dismantle your economy piece by piece until you comply. Vexthor watched the exchange with grim fascination. The human was negotiating from absolute strength. Every word calculated. Every threat credible. Kronzar's image flickered. The Council will hear of this. Good. Make sure they hear everything. Make sure they understand that humanity gave the Dominion every opportunity to coexist peacefully. You chose violence. We chose victory. The transmission ended. Stone turned his attention back to Vexthor. You've delivered my message. Now honor your part. Leave human space. Don't come back. The Caldrith commander nodded slowly. What do you, Captain Stone? What did they do to you? Stone's scarred face showed something that might have been a smile. They tried to make a weapon. Turns out, they succeeded. The Reckoning pulled away from the crippled flagship. Stone activated a beacon that would guide rescue ships to the disabled Caldrith vessels. One more thing, Vexthor. Those 3 million colonists you killed, they had names, families, dreams. Remember that when you report back? Remember that you started this war, and one human ended it. The human ship accelerated toward the edge of the system, leaving the remnants of the Caldrith fleet floating in the darkness. Inside his cockpit, Derek Stone allowed himself one moment of exhaustion. Pain. His augmented body screamed with pain from the combat maneuvers. His neural implants throbbed from processing combat data at inhuman speeds. But he'd kept his promise to the dead colonists. Their killer had learned fear. Vexthor stared at the human face on his screen and felt his species' legendary pride crumble into dust. "What lesson?" he managed to ask. Stone's expression didn't change. "Mercy has a price." The Reckoning's weapon systems powered down. Vexthor's crew exchanged confused glances. 7 Cauldrith ships remained operational, scattered across the battlefield like frightened prey animals. "I'm giving you one chance," Stone continued. "Broadcast a message to the Dominion. Tell them exactly what happened here. Tell them what one human did to your fleet. Then take your survivors and leave human space forever." Vexthor's mandibles trembled. "And if we refuse," Stone's hand moved toward his weapons console, "then I finish what I started. Your choice. You have 60 seconds. The commander looked at his bridge crew. Young officers who'd never expected to face real combat. They joined the Dominion military because it was supposed to be safe, dominant, unstoppable. "Open a channel to Dominion High Command," Vexthor ordered. His communications officer hesitated. "Sir, if we admit defeat to a single human ship, our careers don't matter if we're dead." "Open the channel." The connection established. Fleet Admiral Kronzar appeared on screen, his 4 eyes blazing with impatience. "Vexthor, report. Have the human colonies surrendered?" "No, Admiral." Vexthor's voice was hollow. "The colonies are lost. My fleet is destroyed. 40 ships eliminated by a single human vessel." Silence filled the channel. Then Kronzar's laughter echoed through the bridge. "Impossible. You're transmitting from a dead ship with failing systems. Your judgment is compromised. I'm sending reinforcements to..." Stone cut into the transmission. His face replaced Vexthor's on the Dominion channel. "Admiral Kronzar, I'm Captain Derek Stone. Your commander isn't compromised. He's telling the truth. I destroyed his fleet in 43 minutes. I can send you the combat recordings if you'd like proof." The Admiral's laughter died. "One human? You expect me to believe..." "I don't care what you believe," Stone interrupted. "I care what you do next." The Dominion attacked human civilians, murdered families, burned colonies. That was your mistake. This is your warning. Stone transmitted a data package. Kronzar's expression shifted from skepticism to shock as he reviewed the tactical recordings. 47 Cauldrith warships reduced to 7. Combat footage showing the Reckoning moving like a wraith, striking like thunder. "This technology," Kronzar whispered. "How do you..." "That's not your concern. Here's what you need to know. Humanity didn't reveal our true capabilities because we hoped diplomacy would work. You mistook restraint for weakness. Now you know better." Stone leaned closer to his camera. "Spread the word across the Dominion. Human space is off limits. Human colonies are untouchable. Human ships travel where they please. Any violation will be met with the same response you witnessed today." Kronzar's scales darkened with rage. "You threaten the entire Dominion? We have thousands of ships, millions of soldiers. And I have thousands of ships just like this one." Stone lied smoothly. "Hidden, waiting, watching. We let you think you were the apex predators in this galaxy. We were wrong to give you that illusion. It was a bluff. The Reckoning was unique, a prototype that existed outside official military channels. But Kronzar didn't know that. Couldn't know that." Stone drove the point home. "Test me. Send your thousands of ships. See what happens when humanity stops holding back." The Admiral's jaw clenched. "This isn't over, human." "You're right. It's not. Because you're going to pay reparations for the colonies you destroyed. Resource compensation, rebuilding materials, delivered within 30 standard days. We will never. 30 days or I start visiting Dominion worlds, not military targets. Your mining operations, your trade hubs, your logistical centers. I'll dismantle your economy piece by piece until you comply." Vexthor watched the exchange with grim fascination. The human was negotiating from absolute strength. Every word calculated, every threat credible. Kronzar's image flickered. "The Council will hear of this." "Good. Make sure they hear everything. Make sure they understand that humanity gave the Dominion every opportunity to coexist peacefully. You chose violence, we chose victory. The transmission ended. Stone turned his attention back to Vexthor. You've delivered my message. Now honor your part. Leave human space. Don't come back. The Cauldrith commander nodded slowly. What are you, Captain Stone? What did they do to you? Stone's scarred face showed something that might have been a smile. They tried to make a weapon. Turns out they succeeded. The Reckoning pulled away from the crippled flagship. Stone activated a beacon that would guide rescue ships to the disabled Cauldrith vessels. One more thing, Vexthor. Those 3 million colonists you killed? They had names, families, dreams. Remember that when you report back? Remember that you started this war, and one human ended it. The human ship accelerated toward the edge of the system, leaving the remnants of the Cauldrith fleet floating in the darkness. Inside his cockpit, Derek Stone allowed himself one moment of exhaustion. His augmented body screamed with pain from the combat maneuvers. His neural implants throbbed from processing combat data at inhuman speeds. But he'd kept his promise to the dead colonists. Their killer had learned fear. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire through dry brush. Within hours, every major civilization had intercepted the Dominion's encrypted military channels. The combat footage couldn't be contained, couldn't be suppressed. A single human ship decimating a Cauldrith armada became the most analyzed military engagement in recent history. The Council of Aligned Worlds convened an emergency session. Ambassador Lyra Keene represented humanity. She'd been stationed on the neutral ground of Covenant Station for 2 years, navigating the complex web of galactic politics with patience and diplomacy. Now she stood before representatives of 19 species, watching her carefully constructed relationships crumble. The human delegation will explain this unprovoked act of aggression, demanded Chancellor Vormik of the Hexarian Assembly. His crystalline form pulsed with angry red light. Lyra kept her voice steady. Unprovoked? The Cauldrith Dominion attacked 3 defenseless human colonies. They murdered 3 million civilians. Captain Stone's response was proportional defense. Proportional? Vormik's translator dripped with sarcasm. He destroyed 40 warships. That vessel employed technology far beyond established galactic norms. This is a violation of the Covenant Accords regarding experimental weapons. Representative Shaleen of the Verdani Collective clicked her beak in agreement. We've analyzed the combat data. That ship's acceleration would crush any biological pilot. Its weapon signature doesn't match any registered human military design. What else are you hiding from this council? Lyra had been asking herself the same question. Earth's official military had no record of Derek Stone or the Reckoning. Her government was as blindsided as the alien species sitting in judgment. I can't speak to Captain Stone's capabilities, Lyra admitted. He's not operating under Earth Defense Force authority. Convenient, Vormik sneered. A rogue human with impossible technology appears precisely when needed. You expect us to believe your government has no involvement? I expect you to remember who fired first, Lyra shot back. The Dominion chose violence. They chose to test humanity's resolve. They discovered their error. The chamber erupted in overlapping arguments. Species that had viewed humanity as minor players now reassessed every interaction. Old alliances wavered. New fears took root. Senator Kale from the Arinthian Empire raised his clawed hand for silence. His species had remained neutral in most conflicts, preferring observation to intervention. Ambassador Keene, the Council requires assurances. Will Earth produce more vessels like the Reckoning? Lyra made a split-second decision. Truth wouldn't serve humanity's interests. Neither would an obvious lie. Senator, I think you're asking the wrong question. Explain. You want to know if we can build more ships like that one? What you should be asking is why we haven't already deployed them. Why humanity has spent decades accepting marginalization in galactic affairs. Why we've tolerated trade restrictions, territorial disputes, and diplomatic insults without retaliation. She let that sink in before continuing. Captain Stone showed you one possibility. One option humanity has kept in reserve. Perhaps there are others. Perhaps humanity has been more patient than you deserved. The bluff was enormous, dangerous. But Lyra watched the council members exchange nervous glances and knew it was working. Vormic's crystalline form shifted to purple uncertainty. You're saying humanity has deliberately concealed military capabilities? I'm saying humanity chose peace first. We hoped reason and cooperation would define our place in this galaxy. The Dominion proved that approach has limits. Across the chamber, Ambassador Tranker of the Caldrith Dominion finally spoke. He'd been silent throughout the session, his mandibles twitching with barely controlled fury. This is extortion. You use one lucky engagement to threaten the entire council. Lucky? Lyra turned to face him directly. Your fleet commander doesn't think it was luck. Neither does Admiral Kronzer. They think it was a demonstration, a warning shot. Trencor stood, his carapace gleaming under the chamber lights. The Dominion will not be intimidated by human theatrics. We will respond with overwhelming force. Then you'll lose with overwhelming casualties, Lyra replied calmly. But please, make that choice. Help the Council understand the consequences of underestimating humanity. The Verdani representative intervened before Trancor could respond. This path leads to total war. The Council's purpose is preventing such conflicts. Then perhaps the Council should address why the Dominion felt comfortable attacking human civilians in the first place, Lyra suggested. For years, humanity has filed complaints about territorial violations, resource theft, and trade manipulation. The Council took no action. We were too small, too insignificant, too easy to ignore. She gestured toward the holographic display showing the Reckoning's combat footage. Captain Stone just made us impossible to ignore. I suggest the Council adjust accordingly. Senator Kale leaned forward. What does Earth want, Ambassador? Recognition. Fair treatment under Covenant law. And immediate reparations for the destroyed colonies as Captain Stone demanded. The Dominion will never agree to such terms, Trencor hissed. Lyra smiled coldly. Then the Dominion will lose more fleets. Captain Stone gave you 30 days. I recommend you use that time wisely. The session dissolved into chaos. Species that had dominated galactic politics for centuries now faced an uncomfortable reality. Humanity wasn't asking for a seat at the table anymore. They were demanding it, with proof of consequences backing every word. Lyra left the chamber and immediately contacted Earth's Security Council on encrypted channels. They needed to know what she'd promised, what she'd implied, what bluff she'd just committed humanity to maintaining. But first, she needed to find Derek Stone. Because if anyone asked humanity to prove their claims, the entire facade would collapse, unless Stone really wasn't alone. Unless humanity really had been hiding capabilities all along. Lyra hoped she'd guessed right about her own species. The alternative was terrifying. Derek Stone sat alone in the Reckoning's cramped cockpit, staring at the star charts with bloodshot eyes. His neural implants were overheating. The combat stimulants coursing through his augmented body were wearing off, leaving behind tremors and nausea. His left arm, more machine than flesh, sparked intermittently where the shoulder joint had taken damage during a particularly violent maneuver. He'd won the battle but paid the price in ways the Caldrith would never understand. The communication system chimed. Stone almost ignored it, almost let whoever was calling think he'd vanished into deep space. But curiosity won. Reckoning, this is Director Helen Cross of Earth Security Division 7. We need to talk. Stone's jaw tightened. Division 7, the Black Ops branch that officially didn't exist. The same organization that had created him, used him, then tried to bury him when his methods became inconvenient. I died 3 years ago, Director. Check your records. The records were wrong. Clearly. Cross's voice remained professional, but Stone heard the edge underneath. You just started a potential galactic war using stolen prototype technology. That makes you very much my problem. Your problem? Stone laughed bitterly. 3 million colonists died while your diplomats filed paperwork. I fixed your problem. By revealing capabilities we weren't ready to disclose. Do you have any idea what you've done? Every species in the Council is now reassessing their threat models. Ambassador Keene is making promises Earth can't keep because of your stunt. Stone pulled up the transmission logs. He'd been monitoring galactic chatter since the battle. Keene's performance before the Council had been masterful, terrifying, and completely unsustainable. She's bluffing about more ships like the Reckoning, Stone said. Obviously, because there aren't any more. You're flying the only prototype. The project was scrapped after you. Cross paused. After the incident. The incident. Such a clean word for what had happened. Stone had been their perfect weapon. Enhanced reflexes, neural interfaces, experimental augmentations that pushed human physiology beyond its limits. They'd sent him on missions that required solutions too brutal for official military engagement. Then came the colony ship. The pirate fleet, the choice between following orders and saving 800 civilians. Stone had chosen the civilians. Division 7 had chosen to erase him. "I'm not coming back," Stone said flatly. "I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to disappear. Properly this time. Let the myth do its work while you fade away. The Dominion still owes reparations. They'll pay." Keen backed them into a corner. "But if you stay active, if you keep drawing attention, someone will figure out you're one ship, one man, one very damaged prototype that's falling apart." Stone looked at his sparking arm. She wasn't wrong. The Reckoning had taken damage that would require weeks of repair. His body needed medical intervention he couldn't get without exposing himself. Another fight like the last one might kill him, but surrendering felt like betrayal. "I have conditions," Stone said, cross-eyed. "Of course you do. 1st Division 7 stops all human augmentation programs. No more experiments. No more soldiers like me. That's not my decision to make. Make it your decision. I have detailed records of every illegal operation Division 7 conducted. Every war crime. Every covered-up massacre. Refuse my terms, and those records get broadcast across every human colony." Silence stretched between them. Stone counted his heartbeats, each one assisted by mechanical implants that kept his damaged organs functioning. "What else?" Cross finally asked. "Second, the colonists who survived the Dominion attack get full medical care and relocation assistance, funded by Division 7's black budget. Anything else?" "Yeah, tell me the truth. Are there other pilots like me? Other ships?" Cross hesitated. That hesitation told Stone everything he needed to know. "There were 12 of you initially," she admitted. "Experimental enhanced pilots for experimental vessels. You were the only one who survived the augmentation process with your mind intact. The others either died during surgery or went insane from neural integration failure." Stone had suspected as much. The pain he endured daily was nothing compared to what his fellow subjects must have experienced. "So Keen's bluff is pure fiction," he said. "Unless we resume the program. Build more ships. Try again with new candidates." Cross's tone suggested she was already considering it. "Don't." Stone's voice turned cold. "I mean it, Director. What you did to us was monstrous. The technology isn't worth the cost. The technology just saved humanity's position in galactic politics. The technology is killing me. Every day, every hour. My body is rejecting the augmentations. The neural interface is degrading. I've got maybe 2 years before catastrophic failure." Another pause. "I didn't know it was that bad." "You weren't supposed to. Dead men don't file medical complaints." Stone checked his navigation charts. "I'm heading to the Outer Rim, far from Earth, far from the Dominion, far from everyone. And if another threat emerges, if humanity needs the reckoning again," Stone thought about the 3 million dead colonists. The families burned alive because the Caldrith thought humans were easy targets. The cold equations of interstellar politics that treated lives as acceptable losses. Then humanity better figure out how to defend itself without creating monsters. Because I'm done being your weapon." He reached for the communication cutoff, but Cross spoke quickly. "Stone, wait, one more thing. There's chatter on the intelligence networks. Multiple species are trying to track your location. The Dominion wants revenge. The Hexarians want to study your ship. The Orinthians want to recruit you. Let them try. Some of them have impressive tracking capabilities. You might not stay hidden." Stone smiled grimly. "Director, I spent 3 years staying dead while your entire organization searched for me. I think I can handle a few curious aliens." "Fair point. Good luck, Captain." The transmission ended. Stone programmed a course toward the galactic edge, where stellar density dropped and surveillance became impossible. The Reckoning's engines hummed to life. pushing the damaged vessel toward empty space. Behind him, humanity's political situation shifted like continental plates. Ambassador Keene played her dangerous game. The Council recalculated power balances. The Dominion nursed its wounded pride. And Derek Stone, the weapon humanity built and abandoned, flew toward oblivion. Exactly as planned. 6 months passed. The galaxy didn't forget Derek Stone. It couldn't. His shadow hung over every diplomatic negotiation, every territorial dispute, every moment when a species considered testing humanity's boundaries. The Caldrith Dominion paid their reparations. Every credit, every resource, delivered early. 3 new human colonies were established in disputed sectors. No one challenged them. Ambassador Lyra Keene became the most influential human in galactic politics. Her bluff held because no one dared call it, and somewhere in the unexplored reaches of the Outer Rim, Derek Stone finally found what he'd been searching for: peace. The Reckoning drifted in orbit around an uninhabited moon. Stone had spent months repairing the ship's critical systems, cannibalizing non-essential components to keep the vessel functional. His body deteriorated faster than he'd predicted. The neural implants caused constant migraines. His augmented heart skipped beats with increasing frequency. He was dying, slowly, painfully. Exactly as Division 7's doctors had warned before the program was terminated, but he was free. Stone sat in the cockpit, watching the alien stars, when his proximity alarms screamed. A vessel had dropped out of hyperspace directly above him. Not Caldreth, not Hexarian, not any Council species he recognized. The ship was massive, sleek, and completely unknown. A transmission cut through his defenses like they didn't exist. Captain Stone. "We've been looking for you." The voice was human, female, young. Stone-armed every weapon system. "Identify yourself." "Lieutenant Sarah Vance, Earth Defense Force Special Operations. I'm here with a proposition." "Not interested." "You haven't heard it yet." A shuttle detached from the mysterious ship and approached the Reckoning. Stone could have destroyed it easily, but curiosity stopped him. The shuttle docked with practiced precision. Minutes later, Lieutenant Vance stood in his cramped cargo bay. She was young, maybe 25, with the same sharp intensity Stone recognized in himself. Augmented, enhanced, built for war. "Division 7 sent you," Stone said flatly. "Division 7 doesn't exist anymore. Director Cross was arrested 2 months ago. The entire program was exposed and shut down. Your records made sure of that. Stone hadn't released those records, which meant someone else had. Then who sent you? A different organization. One that learned from Division 7's mistakes." Vance gestured toward her ship. "We're not about creating weapons. We're about giving volunteers a choice, enhanced capabilities with proper medical support, psychological counseling, ethical oversight." "Volunteers?" Stone laughed harshly. "Who volunteers for this nightmare? People who saw what you did. People who want to protect humanity without becoming monsters." Vance met his eyes steadily. "People like me." Stone studied her. The confidence, the conviction, the dangerous idealism he'd once possessed before reality burned it away. "You have no idea what you've signed up for," he said quietly. "Maybe not. But I know what you accomplished. 1 ship, 1 pilot. You changed everything, gave humanity breathing room, made the galaxy respect us." She stepped closer. "Now we want to do it right. Build a fleet that doesn't require human sacrifice. Technology that enhances instead of destroys. Impossible. We've made breakthroughs. New neural interfaces that don't degrade. Augmentation protocols with 98% survival rates. Medical interventions that can stabilize even advanced cases." She glanced at his sparking arm. "Even yours." Stone wanted to dismiss her claims, wanted to send her away. But hope was a dangerous drug, and he'd been without it for too long. "Why tell me this? Because we want you to train the next generation. Not as weapons, as defenders. People who understand the cost and choose it anyway." Vance pulled out a data pad. "We have 12 volunteers, all screened, all prepared, all willing to undergo enhancement knowing the risks." Stone scrolled through the profiles. Engineers, pilots, soldiers. Each one had lost someone in the Dominion attack. Each one had watched his combat footage and understood what it took to achieve that level of capability. "This is insane," he muttered. "Probably. But it's also necessary. The galaxy knows about you now. They'll develop countermeasures, build better ships, find ways to neutralize your advantages. Humanity needs to stay ahead." Stone thought about Ambassador Keen's bluff, the fragile peace maintained by fear and uncertainty, the inevitable day when someone would test humanity's defenses again. "If I do this," he said slowly, "we do it my way. Full transparency. Volunteers can leave any time. No black ops. No cover-ups. No using people like ammunition." Vance smiled. "That's exactly what we're offering." "And my medical situation?" "Our ship has a full surgical bay. We can stabilize your augmentations. Maybe even reverse some of the damage. No promises, but better odds than dying alone out here." Stone looked around. The Reckoning's damaged interior. His home for 6 months. His prison. His sanctuary. He'd come here to fade away quietly, to let the legend outlive the man. But maybe legends weren't enough. Maybe humanity needed something real. "One condition," Stone said. "The colonists, the survivors from the Dominion attack, they get first priority for any benefits this program produces. Medical care, educational opportunities, whatever advantages we develop." "Agreed." Stone extended his hand. Vance shook it firmly. "Welcome back, Captain Stone." He followed her toward the shuttle, leaving the Reckoning behind. The old ship had served its purpose, proven what one determined human could accomplish. Now it was time to see what humanity could achieve when determination met ethics. The galaxy had underestimated him once. They'd underestimated his species. Stone smiled as the shuttle accelerated toward the mysterious ship. Let them underestimate humanity again. Let them think the Reckoning was a unique threat. They'd learn the truth soon enough. One ship had stunned the galaxy. A fleet would reshape it. And this time, humanity wouldn't be building weapons. They'd be building guardians. The war was over.